Testing. Oh, there we go. That is perfect. What is up, guys? And we are live. Let's just drop that a little bit there for you guys. So yeah, just want to check over on this side. Where is Chris? Quickly, we just got a little bit of a change of scenery, guys. We're just getting everything ready still, but we will get good to go in the next few minutes. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to give it a few more seconds just before we jump into everything, and we'll start with our analysis. But yesterday was an interesting one. Some very big profits if you were on the right side of the market. Otherwise, I think you guys could have got hurt yesterday. It actually was a pretty interesting day, but we're going to break that down pretty soon, so don't worry about that. Let me just clear this up so long. Yeah, we're just going to give it a little bit longer, and then we'll jump into everything. So yeah, guys, we got a bit of a change of scenery. I'm in the hot seat once again today. We got our guest Garin Hoole coming on a little bit later, so don't go anywhere, stay in tune for that one. And then yeah, we got Chris over there. Chris, how are you doing today? Can you hear us? Morning. Well, at the same time, volume, everything sound good?
A little bit out of character today, yeah. But how's the audio, Keys? Can you hear me?
Nah, that sounds perfect. Sounds great on my side.
I can hear Chris now, that's great.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah. Let's just check here. Yeah, okay, sweet. Yeah, just a little bit away from the mic.
Cool. Yeah, guys, so we just were changing that around, but everything should be good now. James, morning. Okay, just double checking Mo, so everything good now?
How's everyone doing?
Morning, lads. Okay, well, we're gonna start with the analysis, guys. Get things going so long. So yeah, yesterday, as we mentioned, was an interesting one. If we look at the dollar, so as mentioned, I was actually talking to Chris, a few of my biases have actually switched now, which I'll break down for you guys. So my bias for the dollar was basically bearish. The daily was bullish, if I remember correctly, but my weekly was bearish. So that has definitely changed completely now. That is purely based on, if you see, we had this strong bullish engulfing candle. We rejected off this weekly key level. Okay, we came back down. We, funny enough, actually got support on the resistance, and our AD is still pretty much showing bullish at this point in time. So now that we are rejecting, I'd love to see us get back to this area and see what we can do. So when you go over to the weekly, you can see this area here, guys. So the fact, if you look there, every time we've rejected, it's been strong pushes away. So it's still early days, but the fact is, last week we had a strong push up, we closed there, we came down, got support, and we held very close to that area. So we almost had a little bit of a candle full and wick over there. Now we can come back up and retest. So already over one of the day candles, if we can get a break above this, especially with FOMC tonight, there's a very big possibility. If we can get a close above here, we're definitely going to be moving forward. So that is my change of bias in the dollar. Going over to gold, now this is where it also gets interesting. So I was bearish yesterday. I'm trying to remember, guys. So I went through the markets last night after all the moves and volumes we had, but I am bearish now. So again, we go over to the weekly. You can see this weekly resistance area. This is what I'm looking at, and then there's another daily key level right above it. But now we're going to break it down again. So this isn't something we're going to look at. If you guys remember, I spoke to you guys about a day count. So as you can see, I've got an FBR day 1, which is a false break reversal day 1. So for those that were there, you guys had a little bit of a bomb the other day when I explained this a bit more to you. But in short, we had this big move. We caught with you guys, was all called out perfectly. We caught that all due to the day count, which was our day 3. What happens is after the day 3 we reset. So basically what happens is you get your day 1 again, which fell on Monday. We then broke away. We broke that weekly resistance. So we opened up over here. If you guys can see this, just look here quickly. You can see we opened up over here and we closed over there. So you can see that we came down, we pushed, we broke that resistance, set in the high of the week and came back down. So that is what we'll call a false break reversal. So same thing, all we're going to look for today, and again we'll set up with everything, meaning we have always said on Monday, Tuesday you kind of set either the high or low of the week a lot of the time. So moving forward now, we have then set that high of the week and we can start turning around. So as long as today we don't take out this high, the rest of the week, even tomorrow, I will definitely be looking, because then this will count as my red setup day, day 2, and day 3 we will pull the trigger for a sell exactly like we did over here, guys. So I'll keep you up to date with this one, but I am bearish on the day now, so we will start looking for this. But again, the bigger time frames, you can see that rejection coming in here. All this push, we keep trying to go up. Look at all these wicks, small bodies but massive wicks, shows all that rejection. Now I always say to people, when I want to sell, same thing, you want this big bullish, hold support, maybe 1 or 2, and then come back down again. Interesting thing is, Chris and I have always said with gold, the 7 hour always tends to go the opposite way of the rest of the day. So it's almost like that pullback and then the move will come. So we'll keep an eye on that one, but I am bearish for the day, guys. Okay, EJ has also been a very interesting one lately. So again, let's go over to the daily. Same thing. Now this is something I actually wanted to monitor. I am bearish, and I am bearish on the day, but that all depends on how we close over this weekly key level for me. As you can see, we've got that hole. The whole market's clearly moving down. We get a lot of retests, but we are moving down. I do think the only time I personally want to go long is if we can get a close above here. So if we go over to the 4 hour, if we get something almost like these, just a nice close above, simple retest, we can try and take it up to the R1. That is the only time I will look to go long, as I do just feel it is a contemporary thing. The bigger picture, it is going to come back down again, but again, that all comes down to these closures. So that is my analysis on EJ. GJ, sorry guys, we are trying to just run through everything a bit quick, just so that we have time for everything else. GJ, same thing, bearish, but keep in mind we did just have the GBP CPI came out right now, which was quite a big impact on GBP. So as you can see, we actually were trending up, if I'm correct. Let's go down to the small time frames. Yeah, we were trending up. We got very close to the weekly pivot actually, and basically this is where that CPI came in. Look at that massive candle. But now it has closed above and looks to find support there on the S1. So you potentially could even trade maybe back up to the pivot, or even this little area I've marked out, and come back down. But again, that is GBP. I am bearish. Keep in mind guys, I don't think there will be a lot of volume in the markets today or just before FOMC. You might have something like with these GBP, EJ, maybe even GBP USD, but I don't think any massive moves. I always say before massive events like this, the market does tend to be a little bit stale, but we will see how that goes. We can always try and catch something, scalp a little bit, but we aren't going to try force anything. But again, I am bearish on the day. Keep in mind this big push was because of news, and with news I always do feel you're either going to have that breakaway or it's going to have to come back up almost to correct what the news did, and then the market can act out again. So that is my quick analysis there. GBP USD, same thing, guys. Again, look at that, massive, massive, massive. So same thing, I am also bearish. There we go, you guys can see that over there. So thing is, we are getting to this very, very weekly support area. It's a very, very strong area, guys. Hold that support multiple times, especially when we go to the weekly, guys. Look at that, that is very, very clean on the weekly. You can see that support, resistance. So again, we can either get a close, we can either find support, something very similar like that, and can be a complete turnaround, or we're going to break under this and the market is just going to melt. So again, I think this one is a very, very interesting and juicy area to be around right now, but again, patience is key. A market like this, I wouldn't jump in, because this is like, again, it's almost that flip zone. You don't want to try and force something that isn't there. The 80 is bearish, everything is bearish, and I think moving forward, I think we'll talk about it a bit more when we go to US30 now. But guys, your rules are very, very important. Stick to them. The trend is your friend and you're not going to get hurt, okay? So again, don't try and force something that isn't there. Now US30, okay. This one was an interesting one yesterday. So again, this has changed. Yesterday I was bearish on the weekly and the daily. I am now bullish, and we will get into that, but it was bearish, okay. For those of you that were on the live yesterday, for those of you that are on the Discord, we did talk about this quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, but as you guys can see, we had a little bit of a lesson in the markets yesterday. So markets came down. We can see this is clear bearish momentum. Chris and myself both mentioned we were bearish on the day. So we came down, we came resisted, found support literally on that same area, and look at this massive push yesterday, guys. Remember I said to you, we're marking out that same zone, okay? The same zone we did yesterday. You guys can see that there, same zone. If I literally pull it across, you guys can see there, same thing we used yesterday. Last time, I think it was Thursday, when those massive bars, look at that. Literally the same area, okay? We pulled it over, and I only put in break above was buys now, but initially it was just break below sells. So I gave this to you guys yesterday. I was gonna wait for New York session. You can see that 2:45, 3 o'clock, New York. We came in, I said if we've got a break below, we are going to sell. So basically we closed below, came for the retest, and it just melted, guys. Look at that. But for some reason, I'm very, very happy for you guys that were able to make profits. All the guys that sent me messages on how they caught that trade so beautifully. I'm very, very happy for you guys. But to be transparent, for those of you that are aware of the challenge we are doing, I blew my account yesterday. As you guys can see, it was stated, I literally had it written on my charts, but for some reason I kept trying to buy. I literally kept trying to buy. I bought, yeah, I got clapped, and I got a re-entry, I think about the second time, and I actually was in a rush, guys. Again, these are all lessons you learn in the market. I forgot to set my stop loss. I wasn't paying attention, and when I came back, account was blown. It ran all of this. So it's just a lesson. We're going to come back stronger. We're going to get it better. But again, guys, the bias was there. I gave you guys a setup and I didn't take it. I did the complete opposite. I didn't stick to it. The trend was my friend. The 80 was bearish. So I don't know what I was doing. But for the guys that did catch it, I am very, very happy for you. But as you can see now, because of what happened on that note, we did flip. So that is a weekly support. And not only did we reject it, we rejected it hard. We had to push all the way down to there, and yet we still closed above here, guys. Like, that is a massive, massive, massive. Keys, I was also looking for buys, also got clapped. I'm so sorry to hear, my man, but don't worry, we're gonna come back. We will make it back. That's part of the game. Don't get demotivated from it. We literally learn. It's just research and development. So there we go. We are now the reason I was saying I went bullish is because of this hard rejection. There we had another very bullish candle, And again, remember we talk about that whole fractal structure. Push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up. So what I would like to see today with US30 even ahead of FOMC, either a nice retest of Asia highs as we are trading above that now, or a pullback into the pivot, the daily pivot, and we will continue up all the way back to here. You know what, if we even by FOMC, because this could be a big move, we could even close before by New York Open, but if I'm going to look for, like I say, something like this, and either rejection or possibly to close, find support at the P1, and then all the way back up, get a closure back again there, ride it up. Then the big one will be, guys, honestly, with FOMC tonight, if we are trading above this area, I will look to go long.
Let me do something quickly.
Okay, guys, just hold on quickly.
Let's open Streamlabs. Sorry, bro.
No, all good.
Say something real quick.
Yeah, guys, we just try and sort something out here quickly.
I think that should be fine. -19.
Is that all good there?
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, guys. We're getting a little bit excited here, so I think the mic's getting a bit loud. But yeah, moving back, I said, if we are my news, if we are closing back above this, I will look to continue long back to the weekly pivot. So that is just something we can keep an eye for, but that is what I'm basically going to look for. Okay, so let's get rid of that, but I will keep you guys updated. The Discord link is in the link below in the description, so you guys can find the link there and definitely keep up to date with what we are doing. So NAS, we are going to quickly run over here. Very similar, guys. You can see we had a nice hard push to the downside, found our support at the S1, and now we are trading up. So I always say they kind of are running hand in hand with each other. If you now and again they will go opposite, but for now they are with each other. So same thing. When you look here, I think the only time again I'm going to be bearish on NAS is I actually mark this little area out here. If we can get a close below this, pretty simple, you guys can see that breakaway. If we could close underneath here, this was our area where we changed bullish for me. So once we can come below again, almost maybe retest, and we can continue down to the S1 and possibly even lower, as we are in a way making that double top. Okay, so that is just my essence, but for now I am bullish, so that is why my US30 and NAS have switched. So guys, let me know, because I know obviously my pairs are a little bit different to what Chris normally analyzes. So otherwise, if there is another market you quickly want me to run through before we get G on, just let me know about that. Otherwise, Chris, anything else you think we need to add there?
No, I just think guys need to realize it is FOMC tonight, and we just had the Bank of Japan come out. So, not Bank of Japan, Bank of England, and yeah, take it easy today. I think if you wore yourself out today and yesterday, the volume hasn't come yet, so there's going to be a lot of spillover volume coming into the market, and we don't need to rush anything. So stay patient, stay calm. 3 days left in the market. FOMC tonight. Markets are going to go crazy tonight. I can guarantee you that. And if you don't trade news, I suggest you don't trade it. Then tomorrow, all of that spillover volume is going to come into the market and into Friday and even early next week, Monday. So don't be rushed. That's my suggestion.
Guys, 100%. We always say, I mean, your CPI, NFP, I personally wouldn't trade the news off the bat. Something I did used to do when I was a bit young and stupid. But we have our ways of trading it. And same thing, guys, just because it's not your big CPI, NFP, don't be mistaken. FOMC is very important, and you will get some massive moves. Don't worry, we'll go over EU now for you guys. Okay. So funny. Garen's joining at 9, guys. So Garen will in the house 9 o'clock,
And let's leave a few likes for Keeks running the stream. He's done very well last Friday. A lot of you guys said you wanted him back on. That's why I've got Keeks on the decks again. So feel free to leave a like, and if you are not subscribed, subscribe to the channel now.
So yeah, guys, EU, I am definitely bearish. So thing is that would have been perfect there, guys. You can see that almost rejection there, and the same thing, you can see this clear zone over here. Why is that not marking out? Let's go over there. Yeah, I like that there, looks good. Okay, so on the 4 hour, let's break it down. Funny enough, guys, you can see this is why I started introducing the pivots. You're literally at the weekly pivot right now. So we did show rejection there a few times, and we are now getting that retest. If we could break above, I still think you maybe only catch a very small move, as this is again almost that fractal structure. If we break it down, you guys can see there just your lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and you will have your lower low again. So until maybe if you had to break above, a retest, and then moving up, like I say, and you start to hold, then again your resistance one is here. So I think in future I'm only going to really change EU once if we could break above here, hold their support, and start moving up and get that break of structure. Until then, I'm going to be bearish. So if anything, I would now personally, the 80 is bullish at the moment, so that is one thing to watch out for. But as you guys can see there, we are getting a little bit of formation. If you want to, you can almost call it your head and shoulders. So again, you guys could actually literally right now, funny enough, I think would probably be a great time to, if you wanted to go short off the pivot, and maybe aim for something like this. Yeah, even go, let's be a little bit there. Like I always say to you guys, you can actually have your stop loss in a point it should invalidate. So maybe a little bit higher, because that technically that other shoulder would be there, and you guys could aim for something like that, push it maybe a 1 to 2. So if you had to on EU, that is something I would be looking at, guys. Okay, hope that one helps. Did I miss gold? Yeah, Yolandi, we did go over gold. I will quickly circle back as we've got a few more minutes before Garen is on. Okay, let's go back here. So gold, basically what I said to the guys is I'm short. I do recommend just going back to actually get my full analysis if you missed these things, the day one, the false break reversals. But I am bearish. We have almost in a way set the high of the week. And we have now started to reject. So especially for me, I prefer my higher time frames and then breaking down. And if you look on the higher time frames, we are definitely pointing bearish now. So we kind of got that retest, and that was something, guys, we took out those highs of yesterday, so we can now. And that was the one thing also, we never took out yesterday or Tuesday. Why is this? Yeah, sorry there. So yeah, that high wasn't taken out yet, but we did fulfill a lot of the wick. So you can see there, they had to kind of come back up, retest. We've now made our top wick for the day, and we can now continue down, as obviously we still have this massive bodies to also go back, all of that down there. So in a longer time frame, I do believe we could go all the way back down to the 1900 area, but we're just going to keep an eye out for that one. But I am bearish on the day. Let's just go back. So yeah, please check CFE JPY if there is time. Yeah, we'll quickly shoot over to that one for you. Yo, I can't even remember when last I traded this pair. So guys, let's quickly run through this one. Yo, the tunes are flying today this morning, guys. Okay, so we can already clearly see a nice resistance being formed there. Look at that. Easy as you would like. So we could go there and set weekly res. And now let's start breaking down. So I'm gonna go bearish straight off the bat just because of that. Your weekly, you have held resistance there for a few weeks. If I go back there quickly, or something like 4 or 5 weeks, you've held that. So definitely I'm not going to try and fight that one. You are at the pivot now though, so this, you can potentially go up, but you can also see these wicks, guys. Again, I always say wicks tell the story. You have that long wick candle, so you kind of just have kind of gone back to get the liquidity that's been left there. If we go over to the 4 hour, similar thing. So what I would look for, I just like to say always my time frames, I want 2 time frames in sync. So I would like to go over and wait to at least get something being bearish, maybe the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour. What I would maybe wait for is, like I said, if you can get support or something over there. Let's see what we can see out, mark out here for you. Yeah, something like that. If we can maybe reject like we are now, possibly even maybe get a retest off that area. If not, I would look for once we get closure below the pivot, and let's just see where the weeklies are. Yeah, so if we can get closure maybe below here, you can try find support similar to this, come back up for retest and try to go short. But again, I don't think you're going to get a massive push. It definitely is coming, but I can't guarantee that would be today. So if you could close below, I'd maybe say you can look at something, sorry guys, look at something like that maybe, and go for those lows over there if it is going to turn bearish. But personally, that is what I would do. Not a pair I really like. I haven't traded in ages. I didn't like the way it moved, but that is every man to themselves on the market. You can always have your own opinion, but yeah, I would be bearish on the day purely because you can see this resistance you've held here. And the thing is also, you guys are coming lower and lower. You had almost a retest of the highs there, came lower again, a retest lower, and now you're going to carry on moving down, if that makes sense. So I definitely would be bearish. Oh yeah, sorry guys, it's not a pair I normally use, so I don't have my anchor text here at the bottom for it, but yeah, CHF JPY. So yeah guys, we have got 4 minutes. So I think we will be moving over to get Garen. We do just have the market bull in the office here. So guys, I hope you're ready for this one. It is gonna be a goodie. Yeah guys, so just while we are waiting before we bring Garen on, again just want to give a shout out to Vault Markets, our sponsors, for just giving us this platform and opportunity to do what we do and help grow the community with you guys. A massive shout out to them. So guys, as you mentioned, we aren't going to try force anything just of yet. Like I said, markets are a little bit slow at the moment, so as always, and I'm sure a few guys have told you, we're not going to force it. If it isn't there, don't push it. But if we get something, we always will try to take a trade live with you if we can. And that's it guys, Mr. G himself in the house. How you doing, my man?
Good, and you? Can you hear me?
Good brother, can hear you perfectly. We're just gonna get Mo, can you give me a heads up on the sound there? How's that sounding? Mo Money, is you there? Oh guys, sorry, we're just doing a quick sound check. Just make sure Garen's mic is 100%. Otherwise, yeah, G, how you been, my man?
Good in yourself, man.
Nah, good, buddy. BMW boys for the win. Yeah, guys, already pumping through the numbers, already the highest views on the stream today. So guys, just a little heads up, Garen is from Cape Town. He has his own mentorship. He is also the founder of the Daily Scalp, so I'm sure his boys are all pulling through for support. But other than that, G, maybe can you give the guys a quick background to yourself there?
Yeah, sure thing. So, I've gotten into trading more recently in my life, I would say around 2019. But, I was born in the Northern Cape, lived in a small town, and I've traveled quite a lot through my life. We moved to Knysna as a young kid, then from Knysna moved to Ceres. I was probably for most of my life, I was in Ceres till high school, second year. So I always knew I was not going to go study something normal because I can't study. I hate work, and I was more into sports. I was always been, massive on sports, and my goal was kind of to become a professional golfer. So I went to go study after school. I went to a PGA Golf Academy. So that was a 3-year course that I did. It's a PGA diploma. You play a lot of golf. Probably from 7-8 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. Gym, golf, and then yes, there was how can I say, some schoolwork attached to it. So which was quite minimal, which I liked. But I finished that in 2019 as my final year. So what actually happened is I got a back injury. So that was around beginning of the year, around April, May. Got a back injury where I was out for 6 months and 2 months rehab. So that's kind of where the trading career started, I would say, because I can't sit down and not make money. I always wanted to be a young, successful entrepreneur or millionaire, if you can call it that. And I would say it was a rough start for sure, because I feel like back then there wasn't a lot of courses, or I would say trading wasn't as big as it's now, where every second person you almost see is doing trading or starting to trade or whatever it is. So at that time, how I got into trading was because of Facebook and Facebook. So I spotted him when he still had his, how can I say, his old GTI Club Sports in Durbanville, and I was like, okay, yes, that's a nice car, but I see a lot of stickers on the car. So I was like, what's this guy doing, obviously? So the one day he actually drove by, I followed him, and he actually went to the same place I was about to go to get some groceries. I asked him, what do you do for a living? I see all the stickers in your car, like, what is that? And he started chatting to me, and he was obviously quite nice and all. So he told me he's into trading financial markets and whatever. And I was like, okay, that's sick. And like, he has a course and all that. As you guys know, Facetek's the brand. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. I did not have the money to obviously buy this course, but I obviously started doing my own research. So long story short, it took me around 8 months, 8 months to make my first withdrawal. So I used to use my student money obviously to trade and funded. I didn't even do a demo. I think I got a demo account for less than 4 days, because I felt like off the bat there's no emotion attached to it. So I was like, I want to do the real thing. I want to know what it feels like to actually trade, lose money, make money. And I funded like 500 Rand accounts, 400 Rand, 300 Rand, 500 Rand. And my first ever withdrawal was 500 Rand, followed by the next day 750 Rand. I was like, yo, that's insane. I just made basically more money than I used to have a month to spend. So then December was kind of like a grafting time, December 2019. I was just sitting, working, and I would say, the second week of January, I spent my last cash that I had, which is around 4,500, 5,000 Rand, on a course from Daniel Savage. I don't know if any of you guys know him. I feel like the OG traders might. But his course was like on a massive special. I bought it. So that was all my money gone. But the reason I bought it is because he was a scalper, and I have not seen a course of someone that scalps. You know, I'm a scalper just because, you know, I believe in it's your personality, and you need to stick to your, how can I say, your strong points. I'm not gonna go try and swing if I hate doing that. You know, I like scalping, so therefore I'll obviously it'll be easier for me to put in a lot of work and enjoy it at the same time. So bought his course, I finished it over a weekend, and that next week, I actually got money from my mom, so I asked her for a loan, if you can call it that. So she gave me 4,000 rand, funded it, and I flipped that 4K 16,000 rand that first week. And to be honest, looking back at that, I'm quite surprised by how much confidence I had. Because looking at where I am now, obviously, you know, it's weird because back then I feel like I actually don't know nothing. I just knew like a fixed strat that I just obviously saw on this course and I'm sticking to it, but it worked. So after my first win, made like 1,005 or something like that. I was like, okay, this is going to work. So I literally told myself this will work, and it is. And I think therefore my confidence level was just, I would say, the best it possibly can be. Then the following week, I made another 11K. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting on like 30K. And I've never in my whole life had more than 7 or 8,000 rand in my bank account, where that was made from, you know, birthdays, getting gifts, getting money from friends, saving up. So then, my life actually changed really quickly, I would say. 2020 was my breakthrough year, I would say, in trading. So fast forward, the 2 weeks after that, I deposited a 12K account, and I don't know if some of you guys will remember there was this thing called a market freeze or something on JP markets I was using back then. And I entered a trade on Nasdaq. I was already in sales, and I had my, how can I say, my risk to reward ratio ended up being on like I risked something like 2 or 3K to make something around 7 or 8. That was the figure in my head, and that's the figure that I would have, you know, stuck to.
Right, guys, just before he carries on with the story, like, I really want you guys to pay attention to this because this is a proper crazy story.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that, you know, you always hear from people, but you never think it will happen to you. And it's quite crazy actually knowing that, you know, that actually happened. Thinking the good thing is I have every single screenshot of every milestone I hit in 2020. So if I look for motivation, I literally go back and look at that. But yeah, so that thing froze. I still have a screen recording of this whole thing that I'm literally talking about now. I messaged Clint Fester, and I told him, listen, this thing is like moving super slow, like almost, how can I say, 20 times slower than what it's moving on TradingView. And I'm like, what the hell's happening here? Because my trades would have been a take profit now, but it's still sitting up there by my entries. And he's like, what do you mean? I sent him a screenshot, and he's like, oh, okay. He told me, the only thing he told me is sell and press sell up until it tells you can't open up more trades. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna risk my money with that. So he told me, trust me, this is a market freeze and this and this and this. And it's happened to him in the past. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna trust him a little bit. So I open up a little bit more entries, and I see this thing is starting to slowly start moving again, and then on TradingView, this thing already plummeted. So what I did was I put my take profits by where TradingView obviously shows it went, and it keeps on going down. So I move my take profits, move it, and later I thought, okay, no, you know, this doesn't happen every single day, you know, and if you want to achieve something mad, you gotta be mad and just go for it. So I ended up more sales. And I literally can explain the feeling. Feeling is basically time goes by slowly. So it always a time span of like 12 minutes. And I remember that I literally, it felt like an hour or two, not gonna lie. My heart was flipping racing. I got literally nauseous. I put my phone down. I'm like closing down my phone. I switch it off actually, and I walk around and I'm like, actually, I'm praying a little bit in my mind, like permanently. So I went back on, checked the thing. It's still moving, but it's slightly in profit. I'm sitting on like 3, 4, 5,000 in profit. And message Clint again. He's like, show me your screenshots. I sent him screenshots of the phone. He's like, yo, bro, you're gonna make a lot of money. I'm like, yo, what the flip is happening? This is crazy. There's like an adrenaline rush. So literally, as I was done messaging him that time, this thing started unfreezing. It started moving to normal speed, but it's still behind. And all of a sudden, massive spike. And I went to my home screen and I saw 43,000 Rand profit. And I'm like, for a second, like my brain doesn't realize the number, how big it actually is. But when it clicked in, I was like, oh my, this is a lot of money. This is insane. Started closing trades, closing. And most of them already hit TP. And I ended that day on like 43,000 Rand profit. And all of a sudden, my wallet was sitting on something like 70K, 60, 70, 78, something like that. And obviously I was celebrating. First thing I did is call my mom and I wasn't home. I was like, called her. I was like, you won't believe what just happened. Showed her, obviously going crazy, showing my mates as well. Some of my mates were also trading a little bit at that time because I, kind of got them into it. And from there and that day, like everything changed because the following week, I deposited 52,000 Rand of my 76 that I had into an account. And I don't know where this came from. To be honest, I wouldn't even do this now. Like, even with the knowledge I have now, I wouldn't even do this. But I literally fully risked that whole account. I went in full leverage. I trusted the setup, obviously. I felt like, no, this is going to happen because back then, NASDAQ had like a pattern. It does every single New York session. It shoots up and then it follows by the opposite direction, or it shoots down, follows by the opposite direction. So I trusted it, went for it. As soon as I entered the lot sizes, I realized, okay, I'm in. So this is either blowing my whole account or I'm on my way to becoming like a millionaire basically. And yeah, I must say it's a sickening feeling when you start realizing what's on the line. But switch off my phone. I told myself I'll give myself 15 minutes. So I checked my watch. I'm like, oh, cool. 2 minutes went by. It felt like half an hour. And later on, I remember I was laying in my bed, my pillow. I was literally praying for that whole 10 minutes. I went back on. And it was still refreshing, so it said minus 30K, refreshed. And it was running in like 200,000 in profit. So I have that screenshot as well. Closed it, and it started like sinking. And I remember sending the screenshot to my mates because they went into the same trade, and I showed them I went in big. They all of them told me, dude, you're crazy. Close it and just enter, a normal lot. Obviously, I didn't listen to that. And I remember sending it to my mates. My one mate was at a party actually, at like a university like dance or something, and he literally said he got back pain from seeing that screenshot, that he actually went down to go lay down in the flippin', in the hall where everybody's dancing. He went to go lay down on the ground because he got back pain. And my other mate his name is Ruben. He went ham. He literally called me. He's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? This is like insane. I kind of motivated them as well because they started jumping on the train as well. The next trade I took, I was sitting on 270K in my wallet. The next trade, I risked 200K, put it into account. I remember that happened 2:30 in the morning. And I remember this is literally where lockdown started, just before, like a week or two before. So the news was already out that, this is becoming a worldwide pandemic and it's not looking good. So the only thing I started doing is I sold, New York session, I'm selling. If I get a push to the upside, that's like a plus. That's more like a sniper entry. And back then, this one EMA that I was using, was the only EMA I used, was in 21. So it's a freebie for some of you guys. You can go back test that. Market still reacts quite nicely to it. But back then it was crazy accurate. The moment the market taps that thing, especially like on an hour time frame, that thing rocketed. So entered 200K in an account, and then that trade happened 2:30 in the morning. I didn't even hold it for long. The market was super volatile for some reason. And I think it was more or less like 12 minutes. I made 360,000 in profit on that trade. So now all of a sudden, 4 weeks, 5 weeks into the year, I'm sitting on something 600K, 500, 600K. So yeah, I felt like, damn, life is changing. This is insane. And I just kept on. That's one thing I want to, say to you guys here is that if you have a hot streak, and you would know when you have a hot streak, that's when your discipline and your confidence and your knowledge just aligns perfectly. You feel like you can just enter a trade and you will make profit. There's no like doubt of like, I hope this plays out, or the moment you in profit, you're like, oh, maybe should I put my stop loss and break now, because you're kind of like scared on the back foot. When you're on your hot streak, that does not exist. Failure and taking a loss doesn't exist in your mind. If I think back now, it was a struggle for me to get back to that type of confidence, because everybody goes like this. Life goes on, things are quite interesting, and you have your personal stuff at that point, so you're not always at the top of your game. But yeah, long story short, the 27th of March is my birthday, and that was the first ever day of the first lockdown, 2020. That night, it was me, my mom, my sister, and I was living with my mom at that time because she was diagnosed with cancer in the beginning of 2020, and my parents got separated, like a few months before that. So I went back to her. She lived in Grayton, and I was looking after the shop she had there. And all this happened at the same time. So it was like a blessing, from God for me to, make that money, especially from the times that we had afterwards. We didn't know. Obviously, COVID was a tough time for everybody. But I hit 1.1 million rand on my birthday that day. My wallet was sitting on 1.1 mil. And obviously, we all celebrated. Me and my sister, her boyfriend Stian, which is a good friend of mine, he comes from the golf academy where I used to study at, and yeah, we partied quite hard that night, I would say, and started making my first withdrawals, put withdrawals in, just something small like 40K, 50K, and July 2020, I bought my BMW, the M135. That's been a childhood dream car of mine, because I remember I was 10 or 11 years old. And, none of my parents ever had like a sports car or something of like that caliber. It's always been a dream, because me and my dad and my mom even is like big on cars. We love cars. So my dad took me for a test drive in an M135, a white one. I would never forget that. And I told him, Dad, you must buy this car. He's like, yeah, I would if I could, but maybe one day you can. So that's why I actually bought the RH3, and then I kind of canceled it because I felt like the BMW had more sentimental value. That was the goal. I even wrote it down in 2019. When I started trading, I still have my trading diary. I have 2 trading diaries that's like almost fully written in. And I was like, the goal was, it said buy M135 before you are 25. And I bought it when I was 22, which was insane, because I didn't ever think a year later, writing that down, it would, obviously become a reality. So that was a pinnacle, I would say, in my life, was the day I went to go fetch the car with my mom and my sister. We drove from Grayton to George and got the car. And to be honest, like, the feeling feels quite weird, because it feels like, I don't even know how to explain. It just feels literally unreal or surreal. It just doesn't even make sense. You start thinking like, what is life? Life can be something crazy, if you are just, in the right thing at the right time, and you put in time and effort, you kind of get your knowledge and your confidence up. That's basically it. I feel like in trading, your confidence plays probably the biggest role there is, because you can even have minimal, knowledge in trading, the basics, super basics. But if you have a crazy level of confidence along with discipline, I feel like you can be a profitable trader for sure. Like it's not as difficult as people think it is. You know, the most difficult part is, you know, believing that it is actually quite simple. So that's kind of what I teach my students is that, you know, it's not as difficult as what you make, you know, you make of it. We make it difficult for ourselves because we lack discipline, you know, we lack confidence. Obviously, discipline plays a big role because that's where you tell yourself, is the market, you know, good enough to trade today or not? And if it's not, then don't trade. You know, that's why you sit back and if you have hobbies, you know, just you can work in the garden or you can do your normal day job or you can do something to keep yourself busy. My best way of keeping myself busy is playing games. I'm a big gamer, always been a gamer. I think I got my first PlayStation when I was 1 year old. When I, yeah, three, something like that. So
But
that
just
keeps me.
yeah, sorry, my man. Just to add to that, guys, is obviously everyone is aware of the challenge we are doing now, the $100 to a mil. Just to put in context, where Garen spoke about that whole time frame now, that was his period of 7 months. AG, 7 months.
Yeah, that was 7 months. I think I hit 1 million after 3 months,
Yeah.
but after that I kind of like started chilling down. I would say I was just
Yeah.
starting.
So you guys, like, obviously, obviously, like he did mention, there is times he put the whole account on the line. But it's just to show you, like, you look at all these influencers overseas, where there is guys in South Africa that can tell you their stories, and they've got the screenshots, they've got everything to back up what they said, that really have done it. They've done the hard miles, they've done what it takes, and taking those small accounts to R1 million, taking it to go buy his dream car, like doing all these things, like it really is achievable. It's not this whole thing like we always talk about, guys, that because you're trading in South Africa, you can't be the same level as what the guys are overseas. Like there's nothing
Yeah,
that says you can't.
a lot of people think, you know, you need to be in USA or Europe, you know, where you know, money is quite, I would say, easier to get. I feel like obviously because you get all these e-commerce shops and all this stuff as well. But you know, I know a few mates of mine that does it here and they do quite well with it as well. Like I know of a friend, I know of one, I know of a few that does it, but I know of one that makes more than 6 figures a month from it. So you know, you can do it. It might be a little bit more difficult if you want to, if you even want to say that. But to me, you know, I feel like everything is quite evenly put out. It doesn't matter, you know, where you are. You still have the same opportunity of funding an account. You still have the same opportunity of grabbing the same trades as they do. So everything is exactly the same. So don't let that be like a factor too. No, I can't do that because I live in South Africa. What you know, what,
Yeah.
what, but
So G, moving forward now, like I've mentioned to the guys, you are quite low-key. I mean, you're not all over social media, those type of things. I mean, you have your car, that's your baby, your pride and joy. I have seen the guys are mentioning in the chat how they have seen your car around. It is definitely a beautiful car, guys. But how does it feel knowing in your mentorship, you've had some guys come in there that where you went through everything, you did a mentorship, you did all these things, and you can look around now and actually say that there's quite a few guys and quite a few names in the South African industry that have come up and are all guys that kind of started in your mentorship, that low-key people don't even know that, and you can see the success that they've done and achieved as well with your help in that essence.
yeah, that's a crazy thing. I never ever wanted to even, you know, do a mentorship or a course. I wasn't interested in that. Obviously, I just feel like I want my time. When I want to do whatever I want, I can do it. It's not like I have a duty for the day or so. But I got an opportunity to go work for a company called Aspire FX. So they're also known as Aspire Investments. In 2021, I thought, you know, yeah, maybe it's a good thing because they have an office in town. And I'm going to be surrounded by other traders and stuff like that. You know, always being by myself alone, it'll be lacking obviously to, you know, communicate and trade with fellow traders and stuff like that. So I took it. So I moved back to Cape Town, worked at the office. I went in every day, but I didn't even have to go in because my main reason was to actually trade a investments account for the investors of Aspire investments. So later on, a lot of they received a lot of DMs from people saying, "Is Garen doing a mentorship? Is he doing a mentorship?" And later on, they started chatting to me and said, they've gotten a lot. They've never had this, much like inquiries of people, because they did have a course and stuff at that time where they teach, the basics of trading, and they would obviously love to, take that route because it'll be good for the company. So I felt like, the introvert me is always trying to help people. I'm like, yeah, I want to be like a beneficial, factor for them. So I said, yes, I'll take it on, but I didn't want to take on more than, was it 15 students every 3 months or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, fast forward, my first ever student was Stefan Scanlon, which has Grand Capital.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, who we had Carl on the stream, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, who is actually flying out to Cape Town now to do that massive seminar with you guys. Stefan Scandal is the other trader that is doing that seminar and literally was G's first student.
Yeah, he was my first ever student. He was obviously normal results at the beginning, trading like a 1K, 2K, 3K account, making like 1,000, 2,000, losing a bit, up and down thing. And then I remember 3 months or 4 months in we had in-person sessions at that time at the office. He had a breakthrough week where he took it to like 43, 40 something thousand rand as well. And he's like, yo, dude, this is changing my life. This is insane. And I was like, obviously super happy because, I kind of helped towards that. And then later on, I feel like a year later, he told me, he made his first million. And I was like, that's actually insane. And I met up with him and I saw obviously his reactions and how, he was super thankful and all that. So I feel like that he kind of was the reason I wanted to, go further with it. Because seeing obviously his reaction was like, yeah, I played a role in that. That's actually flipping insane. And then from there on, he obviously started his own, brand and mentorships and everything, and he's doing quite well with it. So, GG's to him. And then I have two other students that also did quite well. I would say yes, he did make a few, like 100,000. I don't know, much further because he was also at the Spire with me. So he kind of, how can I say? Didn't chat to him a lot afterwards because he's like 35 and he has a day job that he was working at Planet Fitness. So he quit his job obviously, and that's kind of like the last time I heard about him. Up until like a year ago, he said, no, everything's going well, just thank you, whatever, and so that's it. And then I left Aspire because I felt like I wanted to chill down, I didn't want to do that anymore because I was like going to the office, I was mentoring and coaching and whatever, and I had like, I would say, to be honest, 6 or 7 students that stood out. They made actually great money, like 5 to 6 figures at least, and I kind of stopped it there. And then beginning 2022, Hein messaged me. He said I must help him with trading. He wants to get into it. So I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, guys, just for reference, I don't know if Han is still in the chat, if he is there now or not, but this is the same Han that we have had on the lives with us a few times in the morning.
Yeah, so me and Hein, actually, we come quite long ago. He was in my golf academy. So that's how I knew him, because I lived in a student house with him. So that's how we became friends. And I thought as I was taking him on, I got a lot of other people DMing me and asking, am I still doing the mentorships because they really want to get into it and whatever. And so I'm like, but it's people that was kind of close to me, people I knew kind of personally. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll help you. Till Hein started doing really well. I think he got a funded account of $200,000 after like 4 months, 5 months after joining me. And we worked, quite well together and all that. he made his first withdrawal, which is like 143,000 rand off of that funded account. And then from there on, Hein obviously went on and he started doing, you know, quite well for himself. So then I decided, at the moment, I have like 38 or 32, one of those two numbers, 32, how can I say, mentees or people that I mentored at that time. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to actually create a Telegram group, put them all in it, and then I can share further stuff. It'll be easier for me to communicate with my current, you know, students or members that I have. And I thought of, again, I'm going to give it a name as well, the Daily Scalp. That's kind of how I started to get the Daily Scalp. So the Daily Scalp, I started exactly a year ago, like a year and 1 month ago, something like that. So at the moment, I have 192 students.
And how many of those are funded, guys? Just so we can keep this in mind, how many of those guys are live funded traders?
At the moment, I know for a fact, most of them are quite, you know, to the quiet side. There's definitely a lot of them that's funded and they're active on the group and chatting on the group, but some of them were, you know, a bit older and they don't see, you know, discussions groups and stuff. They're not into that, so they just kind of back foot. But altogether, it's something like 31 or 32, which is pretty insane. It's a big number.
Guys, that's a crazy amount. When for those of you that have done funded and know the difficulty in funded, to have that many members that you have helped turn live accounts that are making money, their bread and butter off that is a very, very good number, guys.
Yeah, I was honestly shocked. In the beginning, it went quite slow. I feel like in the beginning, I already had 3 or 4 that was funded, that I put in the group, and then later on more joined obviously. And like I said, the quiet guys, they're not on the discussions group, they're just on the main group where I share my setups or I share, you know, the Zoom links and all that stuff. And then I just get random Telegram messages and they're like, dude, I got funded, boom, send me the screenshot. And later on, I started actually making a folder of all the funded screenshots, because I was like, I'm interested to see how many people is actually, you know, funded now. And I came to, like, at that point it was something of 25 or 26. I was like, what the heck? That's insane. Like, I didn't realize that's the amount after actually checking, you know, going to check, because later on I was like, yes, people are getting funded here like crazy. And the cool thing is that the community that's in the discussions group is quite sick. Everybody's like mates, everybody helps each other, you know, send through setups. They all, most of them or some of them are funded as well. So, you know, setups that come from their side is like, you can trust it, obviously. So the other guys started doing the same thing, they help each other, and then boom, there's another one, boom, there's another one. So it's,
but now, yeah, sorry bro, we're interrupting you there. But on that note, you talk about, like, for those that don't know, Garen's community is a very, very well gelled, respectable community. But on that, like, what is your personal views on the South African trading community?
That's I can go long into that, but I'm not a fan. This is not everybody, now keep in mind, but this is, like, I would say 80% of the population of traders in South Africa. I feel like all do the same thing, and that's, you know, getting the affiliate link and getting most of the money from that, because they get people to join in signals group. Yes, they might be doing well, but I've heard of a lot of people that's actually not doing well, and people are complaining about it and they're not happy about it. And that I kind of don't like. I kind of feel or see it as a scam, you know. So I'm not a fan of it, but I know for a fact there's a couple of guys. I know a couple of guys are doing a great job in the industry of actually providing proper knowledge, proper education, proper setups, and just the realistic way to trading. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not.
No, 100%.
But you can get rich quick if you do it the right way. That's the thing. So you shouldn't see it as a get rich quick scheme. You shouldn't see it at all like that. But the possibility is there. It's not that it's impossible. So if it is possible, then, you know, why not? But then the thing is, you need to get your mindset and your knowledge and your discipline kind of aligned so that you are in the best position to actually achieve that. So yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan really of 80%, 70% of our South African traders, we all know that you get these traders on social media and they just force down their, how can I say, their signals groups and everything onto people. But a lot of them are actually doing quite well. It's just there's so many people that spoils the industry. I feel like that
Yeah.
people become skeptical of joining and skeptical of like, yeah, this has happened to me in the past. I got scammed by this, and I don't know if I should trust this. And that's the thing I'm trying to say. There's some guys that there's crazy knowledge I've seen. Even signals groups. There's some crazy signals groups I've seen that does flipping well, like proper actually signals. I'm not a fan of signals. I believe in setups because along with the setup comes knowledge. If I just tell you guys to buy here, sell here, stop loss there,
Yeah.
you don't actually see the reason of me why I want to take the trade. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to help people become independent. That's why I'm not bothered by those students that got funded and they went their own way, because that was my goal from the beginning. So it's kind of like me, I've taken a step back where I'm not as active on social media. When I started doing well, oh yes, I was active. That's how I got 1,500 followers. It might not be a lot, but it's definitely more than 1,000. So I had like 900 or 1,000 in 2020, and then like within 3 months I got 4,500 followers, which is insane. So after that, there's obviously things that has happened. That's why I've decided to go private. Private lifestyle for me, I feel like is a peaceful lifestyle. So if people don't know what I'm making, then I'm not a target, to certain people, or there's some sketchy people out there. I've had an incident with that, and they were random, accounts messaging me, but they know a lot about my personal life and all that. So I was like, listen, I'm done. I'm going private. I'm not posting my money and stuff like that anymore. Yeah, every now and then I'll post a trade, and if you can read the lot size and do the math, you can see kind of how much money it is. But I'm not interested in that. To me, you can clearly see through my students' results that everything is done proper. I mean, you can clearly see by my lifestyle that I'm doing well. But
it's a key thing you said there is by your lifestyle, because I've always mentioned this, and I think we've actually spoke about this a few times on the lives, is these guys that are posting trades in the millions every single day, but they live in like their 1-bedroom apartments, or they're driving like a broke down Golfie or something, but yet they're making millions like every week.
Exactly, that's the thing. It's actually crazy. So that's actually funny. I think it's kind of funny to me, like comedy. But you get people out there that's trying to hustle, but they're not doing it the right way. Don't scam people and don't post fake stuff just to kind of attract people and all that. But it's a difficult industry at the moment for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel shy. That's actually, it sounds stupid, but sometimes I feel shy to say I'm a day trader, like no jokes, because of the amount of times I've gotten into a dealership. That's actually what happened, with me. I went into a dealership. That's when I used to look at the Audi R33, and the guy asked me, what do I do for a living? I told him, no, I just, I trade the financial markets. I didn't even say I'm a trader or anything. I just say I trade financial markets.
We've had this incident so many times as well, where we would go out and people ask you, like, let's say at a Joel, like, what do you do for a living? We see the car, we see this, and it's a case of, nah, I'm a day trader. Yes, and apparently that 90% of that Joel is bloody traders. So you get to the point now when also I go out, people ask me like, what do you do? And I'll tell them, flip, I work at a bar or something. Like, I'll just come up with some story.
Yeah, it's actually funny because every time I say something else, I always like the line of saying, no, I sell drugs. Just to see the people's reactions, because they kind of like, no, that's not real. And then I just look at them in like straight face and like, okay,
they kind of believe it.
Yeah, but it's funny because obviously when I bought the car, everybody's like on the shop, and they obviously saw, the finances, and they were like, holy moly, okay, so yeah, this is real. So then they started chatting to me. The guys from the BMW dealership in George, were super nice from the beginning. Up until they started having a chat with me, and they were like quite impressed. They said they've heard of a lot of traders that comes in here, but they end up driving something like normal car and like a Polo or a Hyundai or something, like just a normal everyday car.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, sure, you're a trader. So they kind of gave me the same reaction up until it happened. So they were like, wow, first time ever meeting a person that actually trades. And then, yeah, my BMW salesman actually, we still chat quite a lot. His name is Douglas. He also went trading, dabbling, played around there, made some extra cash. So it's quite cool. So yeah, that's basically that. Because a lot of people then tell me, you probably just make money off your students. And then I'm like, yeah, I charge my students about 1,500, 2,000 to join the group. I get like 1 or 2 students a month.
I would say a key thing there, guys, is also with G, where he does mention that is you get the guys that have things, but a lot of them, and I always say that's a difference though with the genuine guys, is what they offer a fee, but majority of the time it's a lifetime fee. So it's not some crazy amount, but it's a once-off fee, and for the rest of your life it's there. I mean, it's the same thing like we say, you get the guys that are doing signals is a monthly fee you pay in to be part of these guys. You are funding them every single month, where when you're doing like these groups and setups and mentorships, it's a once-off fee, and then you are growing your knowledge for the rest of the time you decide to be on that group.
Exactly, because I know of people that has a signals group. They're not even very big, like I would say the Instagram very big guys, but they're quite decent. They make like 15, 17, 18,000 rand a month off of signals group. So that's every month.
Yeah.
So that like income every month, you can actually get yourself a car financed or a house financed, where if you're a trader and you withdraw, it's different, because it's not like you can't really, how can I say, finance unless it's massive amounts, like crazy abnormal amounts, and it's every single month. And then I would say you need at least twice the amount of the car in your bank to actually get it financed. So it's super difficult. So that's the thing, because I've gotten people that tells me, no, you just make money off of your group. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's just weird that I bought my car, 2 years before I started my group. But you wanna put your boat, go ahead, because even now, if I get 2 students a month, that's like 4,000 rand.
Yeah.
That's literally my petrol, or not even my petrol for the month.
Yeah, geez, so I think a question also the viewers always love when we have these mentors on or special guests is, if you're okay to share it, otherwise don't feel pressured to. What was your biggest trade ever, once off trade?
Yeah, my biggest once off trade was a 400k trade. I funded 100,000 rand. That's just after I made my million. I funded 100k, and I was just like, I didn't really care. If I lose it, I felt like it was nothing. So I entered the trade. I left it for like literally 4 hours. I would say that's probably the longest. That's the longest trade I've had at that time. Holding it for like 4 or 5 hours, and I went back, and it was sitting on like 390, 398 or so. Closed it, but I don't really see that as my biggest trade. I'd rather see my biggest trade as a flip, the account size to the profits made. So that's a crazy one. That's the weekend where the COVID was literally claimed as worldwide pandemic. So that Friday night, the markets that's the most volatile I've ever seen the markets in my whole life. It literally moved something like 1,000 pips up and down every minute. It was insane. I actually had 5k in the account. I took that 5k just through scalping for 30 minutes to 42k. Then I lost it back to 11,900. So I decided, okay, well, I know for a fact this market is going to crash over the weekend, so I'm going to wait 2 minutes before market closure to enter, because I can't enter now. This thing is like, it will literally blow me in a minute. And I didn't even over leverage, nothing. It was just normal lot sizes. I said I would probably say I'd risk like 40%, 50% of my account. entered the trade Monday morning or Sunday morning or Sunday night, 12 o'clock. The funny thing is, I was at that time, good friends with Clint Fester and Darren Dix. So I was in a group chat with them on WhatsApp, and a few other traders as well. So I fell asleep 7 minutes before the market opened. And I woke up 7 minutes after the market opened, and I just see their messages, and they are like going crazy. I thought, oh flip, I probably blew my account now because it's probably back up or something like
Yeah.
that. Went on, and it was sitting on 279,000 Rand profit. But the funny thing is that if I was awake for market open, I would have closed that trade on 70k.
Yeah,
Because
so you falling asleep actually helped you.
Literally falling asleep helped me there, because in seven minutes time I gained the extra 200k. That's my biggest flip ever, like a 12k account to 280.
How's that, guys? Falling asleep with 12k in your account and waking up 200 and something thousand.
That's insane. I still remember the value of NAS. It was sitting on 7,900 and it dropped till 7,600 in like 6 minutes, which was insane. That's a insane amount of pips. That's probably the most pips I've ever caught in any trade. But yeah, later that day was the first day where they actually closed down, shut US30 and NASDAQ in the middle of the day, because it was obviously just plummeting the whole time. So they actually closed it in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, we could enter more trades on that while it's closed. And obviously, I was like, well, what's going to happen if they, open it up again? It's going to fall further. So I funded another 72k account and then went in again. That was like around 9 or 10 in the morning. Around 1 o'clock, it unfroze again, or they opened it up again, and it continued, and I made another 260k. So that day, I made 549,000 in that day. But it sounds amazing and all, but the broker actually took that money back the second to 260, 270. They took that back because apparently there wasn't a value at that time, something like that. It's a weird email that we received. So I was like, okay, well, it is what it is, but it's fine. But the problem is the broker took the whole 550k, not just the one that they mentioned. So I sent them with an explanation that I've been holding, the first one since Friday. There's nothing wrong with that. They literally specifically even gave a time and a time gap and the specific trade and price where it happened, which was the second one. They took everything. It didn't even bother, replying or anything. So I kind of left it. But yeah, at that time I just felt like, I already have my million. I'm not really bothered that much by it. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
So also moving on, guys. So those that don't know, Garen is also a funded trader now. He does do some personal flip accounts again. Like at the time, he is also busy with a little challenge of his own, flipping 500 Rand. So yeah, guys, you can probably also see him do that. But he is a funded trader.
Yeah, I lost it. So now I'm just trading personals again for now. But some of my students know that I'm going into partnership with a new prop firm. I've already seen, like the legal side and everything of it, and liking the idea a lot.
But what is your thoughts on the whole prop industry now? I mean, it is always a big one with the whole My Forex Fund situation and deal pulling out of payments, and just what are your thoughts on it moving forward?
It definitely damaged the prop industry. I feel like it made a lot of people skeptical, even me. That's what I wanted to go into. I'm quite skeptical on prop firms for now, just because I feel like if that can happen to My Forex Funds now, that's, I can guarantee you there's other prop firms that kind of did the same thing, as them. They will start to investigate, slowly but surely, more and more and more and more. That's what I'm scared for. So obviously they'll target, prop firms that's more or less around the same area as My Forex Funds, which is around, obviously USA. So for me personally, that's why I haven't gotten into another challenge again. It's not like we need to rush into that now. It's not nothing to rush. You trade personal funds, make something fun out of it, make some cash.
Yeah.
That's it. So for now, I'm just trading. I have 2 personal accounts. A personal account that I trade properly, and then I started the 500 Rand challenge with some of my students. Whoever wants to join in can join in on it. So it's the whole discussions group, and we all share the trades and stuff there. So at the moment, I haven't done much. I've only taken 3 trades. I took 500 to 1,000, closed it. I took 1,000. The goal was to take 1,000 to 2,000. But I was in a consolidation range on gold. So I actually closed out on 500, 1,005. It's a good thing I did actually close it, because it would have hit stop loss, which is on break even, and then go to profit. And that's the worst feeling ever. If you get taken out on break even and then it goes to profit. So
Yeah.
I'm with my closure there, and then it kind of bothered me that I wasn't sitting on 2K. So I just scalped quickly, get to 2,000. Now I'm sitting on 2K, and yeah, I'm waiting for the next setup to happen. This past week and a half, 2 weeks, I've just been a bit busy with some meetings and stuff going on. That's obviously stuff for my group, so I'm quite excited about it. But I would say next week I'll probably take on the challenge further. My goal and the way I'm trading the account is I'm risking 50% of my account size to double it, so that's like a 1 to 2 risk ratio. So that's my plan. Nothing ever goes according to plan. But
especially not in trading.
Exactly. Not in trading, no, for a fact not. So my goal is to kind of like I said, take 2,000 to 4, and then 4 to 8, 16, 32, once you start getting to the 100K range, then one trade is a proper big money. So you can either go ahead and follow that, but I feel like once I probably get to high 5 figures or mid 5 figures, I'd probably start chilling down a bit and risk something like 30%.
Yeah.
30% account size. Maybe if I can find a setup of like a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, I can still double it. So it's all about that risk to reward ratio, but also keep it realistic for yourself. So me, that first trade I took, actually, if I left that trade, I would have taken 500 to 3K, something like that.
Yeah.
But my goal and my rules is my rules. I'm just interested in doubling it, because what if I held it and that thing went back to stop loss or something like that?
100%. But you say this, and out of personally, because I can see this again, like we trade in a way like we stick to our rules. I've always said on the lives, we talk to the guys about you get your good losers and bad losers. A bad lose is when you lose because you didn't follow your rules, you did something stupid. But if I took a trade, follow my rules, and I lost, it's a good one. I'll take it on the chin, you come back for the next one. But then you see some guys that are, we always say there's a time and place to be aggressive in the markets. We've all done it. And the fact, what was it, a week, 2 weeks ago, you've seen some of your students taking the 500 Rand challenge to 17K in 2 days.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it up until I went on the discussions group, read through the messages, because it's quite a lot. I see there's a lot of action there. And yeah, Jared Scoots, he's my right hand of the daily scalp. So he's my analyst for the daily scalp. So me and him send setups through to the guys, obviously. So Jared took 500 Rand, we flipped 17K in 2 days, something like that.
That is filthy.
Which I was shocked, to be honest. I saw it, I was like, what the hell's going on here? That's insane. And some of the guys was trading with him. So like he obviously said he's going into this now, he's going into that now, this trade, that trade. And some of the other guys messaged me personally, not on the group or anything. They messaged me personally showing me, Drew, I literally took my 500 to 7K. I took my 500 to 5K. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This is insane. So I think I got messages from like 6 or 7 guys that, made quite a good amount of money, I would say. They're all, overtaking me. I'm sitting here chilling on my 2K account. They're sitting on like, what's Jared sitting on 20-something thousand now, which is absolutely ridiculous. The other guy sitting on 13, and the rest is also like high just more or less around 10, like 6 to 8, I would say is the most of the guys. So that's, I mean, that's insane. I mean, if you, that, you might think that's like, oh, that's, it's good. But think about the percentage that is actually 500 to, let's just say 10K. That's a massive percentage, bro. Like, it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, if that was funded accounts, in theory, you've passed multiple funded accounts in that time span.
Exactly, and it's the same as taking 5,000 rand to 100K, or 50K to a million. If someone took 50K
Yeah.
to a million, yo, that's insane, because of the amount of money it is. But it's the same percentage of taking 500.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's literally it's just as impressive. I would say the only thing that might be more impressive of doing it with a bigger account is the mindset behind it, because
Yeah,
it's
the
not as
psychology.
yeah, the psychology is ridiculous. That's why at some point in my trading career, not gonna lie, I'll stick the black sticker over the top where your profit is. I don't want to see the profit. I just want to go onto MT5 and I want to see where's my trade running. Where is it? How close is it to TP? The trade, not the money. That's the thing, because at some point, the money becomes, quite a large amount, and then yes, you are immediately like, I'll close now. But meanwhile, you still have like 2 or 3% left to run to your TP. You're closing on
Yeah.
like a 1. So in the long run, that's not the way you want to go, obviously, because now take one loss and that's gone. But let it ride 2-3%. Then you need to take 3 losses in a row to obviously go back to break even. So it puts you in a much more superior mental state, if you actually can hold the trade like that. Because I'm just as guilty, because I used to close trades very quickly, not gonna lie. Like I said, once you start seeing the money and then you put it means something, that's a lot of money, close. And then you take a loss or two and then you are super negative, because I'm down in drawdown now. But it's because you can't hold the trade and actually make a proper, percentage amount. It's all about, risk to reward ratio, because you can have a 50% win rate, but if you have a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2, 1 to 3, you will be profitable in the end. So
Yeah.
you need to implement that. That's something I needed to force onto myself. I'm not gonna lie, that was something I struggled with for quite a bit. Yes, I had a good percentage win rate, but it's still just too close to break even. It's too close to break even. It makes you stress more. That actually breaks down your confidence, because you start getting scared, and you can't be scared while trading. You need to be ruthless.
As we always say, you kind of have to have no emotions when you're trading.
Yes, that's the thing. But obviously we're human, you can't have emotions, but if you can control your emotions, that's the way to go, and that's the best thing to do, obviously. So
yeah, sorry, I'm just cutting you off there, guys. Just to keep in mind, GJ, as we analyzed this morning, you can just see, like we spoke about that CPI, it did return. As I said, you don't want to trade off those news events unless it causes that breakaway. It can always return. It's got to kind of fill that and reassess from what that CPI and fundamental news did. So as you can see, it perfectly did that, turned around. A lot of guys were trying to carry on suddenly off that second bearish candle, and now just turned around and literally closed that gap up back to where market started before the news. Yeah, sorry brother.
No stress. I was actually looking at that now, and I wanted to buy it this morning there after the massive dip. But just because I was going on the stream, I was like, nah, I can't put my full attention there. Maybe because maybe I would have let it run, not closed early.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I'm not too happy with, I feel like the market at the moment is very consolidation-ish. I don't like that, so that's probably why this week has been a quiet week for me. I haven't even really checked the charts this week.
But obviously, I mean, with the big FOMC tonight, like we were talking about earlier on the stream, the markets aren't going to really make any big moves or have much volume in it until FOMC tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So today is going to be quite, it's going to be quiet up until tonight. It's going to move a lot, and then tomorrow is Thursday. And Thursdays is usually a crazy day. Thursdays or Fridays, it can literally reverse the whole week. So
yeah,
that, it is. if there is a proper setup, I'll probably only be taking it tomorrow.
Yeah, because that's just sort of thing. We've actually had a few guys come on, and I think that's kind of creating like a rhythm here. You guys are seeing all these mentors, these successful traders, and one thing, if you guys haven't noticed, a lot of them will tell you they trade less. They aren't on the markets every single day. They aren't trading 24 hours of the day. They're probably taking 2 trades a week, if that.
That's literally me. Believe it or not, I used to take something like 15 trades a day. And yes, I was like, at that point, I was making money and I was successful. But taking 15 trades a day is quite a lot. You know, that's if I think about that now, I'm like, yo, that's actually crazy. But now I would say, yes, I mean, last week was 2 trades. This week was just 1 scalp to get me to 2K for that account, and then my other account, you know, still going strongly. But this week I didn't trade on the other account. Last week I had the 2 trades and I made some, you know, decent money off of. And then, how can I say, I needed to learn that. The thing is, I was sitting in front of the charts literally from the morning 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock till at night, you know, 9, 10 o'clock, the whole day. I didn't do nothing else. I was just in front of the charts and trying to trade the whole time. Now later on, obviously, you know, like I said, I didn't have a mentor or anything like that. Nobody helped me, and someone I could ask questions and they answer me. I had to figure everything out myself. If you think about it, if you're sitting there all day trading up and down, you know, what happens with every single trade? You stress, you know,
Yeah.
you are stressed out, your emotions is up and down, up and down. Now imagine doing that 15 times a day. Imagine how tired you are going to be, you know, emotionally and mentally after doing that. It's like going to war, you know, you're fighting the whole day. But imagine taking 2 trades a day or 3 trades a day, you know, that's still 3 trades a day. You won't be as tired. Now, if you are like mentally fatigued or, you know, emotionally tired, you are not operating and thinking at your best. So how do you expect to see the best possible setup with the highest probability if your mind is like drained and emotionally you are drained as well? Because what happens then if you take a loss after your 14th trade and you're back to break even? What happens then? You get tired and you kind of get gutful, and then you start over leveraging on the next trade to make it all back, and then you blow the account.
No,
It's
exactly.
that cycle. It just, you won't get out of that. But I started telling myself, okay, if I'm going to be trading every day at least, then I started trading every single day still, but I was limited to 2 trades. So I need to choose the 2 best setups for the day. And later on, I started tweaking my rules. Then it was, you know, if there is a setup, I'll take it. But the maximum trades I'll take for the day is 2. That is 2, because if I lose my first trade, that's minus 1%. If I lose the second, it's minus 2. That's the worst ever day I can have. And I mean, that's not a bad day, minus 2, because 1 proper trade, 2% back, or 3,
You're right back there.
So it's just, you know, figuring out those type of rules that helps with your how can I say, your profitability and your mindset, because taking 2 trades a day doesn't, you know, make you tired at all, you know, doesn't drain you. So now I even went a bit less, you know, some days, yes, I take the 2 trades, some weeks every day, but most of the time, if there's not a setup that I actually like, you know, everything is falling like in place and looking exactly how I want it to look, then I won't trade it. You know, simple as that. I learned that I don't need to trade every day. You can have 4 trades a month, literally 4 trades. That's 1 trade a week, and let's say you won 3 out of the 4, and that's 3 times 2% is 6, minus 1 is 5. You made 5% for the month. Now that's just 4 trades. So imagine you have a $200,000 funded account. How much money that is?
Yeah, there we go. I think, guys, as well, while we carry on chatting, I am going to open up the floor to you guys. So send through any messages or questions you have for G that you can ask him while we still have him on here.
Trading is a constant journey, and you need to be open to yourself and learn and
Yeah.
Like, me as a person, I've even changed a lot just through trading. Like, I've gotten much more patient. Much more, as weird as it is, a much more calm person. Uh, Obviously, more private and spending more time with the people that's important to me. And just I like the way and the person I am now, but I know for a fact I wouldn't have been this person if it wasn't for training. No jokes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, we actually we spoke about that at our combine last week Friday, where we said to the guys, one thing about trading is trading will expose you for the true person you are. It will make you grow, but it will also show you your real characteristics. When you take a loss, it's going to show your emotions. When you take a good win, it's going to show your emotions, how you handle it. It will always bring out those characteristics in you.
No, for sure. Like you need to be a strong person as well, because you get people that after failures in life, they just dip down. They're like, okay, well, that's my life. It's this, and they kind of quit. But like you said, it's your characteristics. So
Yeah.
it shows yourself what you are capable of and the type of person you are, because there's two ways to go. You can give up, or you can be like, no, the life is against me, everything's against me, or you can be like, no, I need to be better. So why did this happen? Why did I take this loss? Get better. Because we human, we all make millions of mistakes.
So Garen, obviously the question, first one is the 500 Rand challenge only for your students?
Yeah, because I would say the trades are being discussed and put out on the group. So to be on the group, you need to be a student.
So moving on then, Laz, he asked Garen, are you keen to slam 100 lots on gold with him?
Yes. If you give me maybe like 2 more years, 3 years, then yes.
Yeah. So
by the way, the biggest lot size I've ever used was on GBP Australian dollar, and that was, I think it was a 26 lot. That's still the biggest I've ever used, 26.
Yeah, and that's on a personal account.
Yeah, that was on a personal.
That is massive, guys. For a personal account, a 26 lot. Man's making some beast moves, yeah. But no, Yolandi, glad you are enjoying it. Definitely, I think today's for being quite a valuable session in that little bit of motivation, inspiration, but also I definitely think psychology. I'm sure G will agree with me. Psychology is probably one of the biggest parts, which is always underrated in trading.
Yeah, psychology is no joke. 80% or 90%, and the other 10 or 20 is skill. That's 100% the truth.
So I think, G, like, what for you? What was like maybe a changing point? Oh, hold on, we got a question here from Will. G, did your beta eat all your other fish?
No, he didn't. He did not actually, but you can send me a message on Instagram, and then I can tell you some other fish stories.
Oh yeah, okay. But anyway, guys, Garen, how does it feel waking up? Hold on, let me just move this thing I can't see. How does it feel waking up every day knowing you're a goat?
I guess it feels good, to be honest. No, I must say, like, it feels, you get like a very grateful, thankful feeling that I've never, had as a younger me. Yes, you get up and you're excited and you're like, yo, I'm so happy that I have this. But it's a true, like, grateful feeling waking up and you're busy looking at everything that you have, but not just that, like what you've done to other people and messages that I've received from past students and past people that I've even just helped out or replied to on Instagram and given them some tips or something. And that's, I feel like that means more than seeing all this. It sounds like cliche. Yes, people do say that once they make it, something like that, but this is short term, like just like, oh, it's fun, it's fun, it's cool. But receiving messages from people that how you've changed their life or how you've helped them, that is a different feeling. It's not the same feeling.
100%.
Completely different. And it makes you actually feel good as a person. Where these material stuff doesn't make you feel good as a person. You just feel like, oh, it's fun, it's lekker.
Yeah, I feel you get to a point you get used to it, but I think at the end of the day, it still isn't to be taken away. Like someone your age, if you want to say successful, or that feeling of, you know what, I think you could look back every now and again, and like you say, maybe as someone mentions it to you, or they send you the messages of how you've changed their life, and it's kind of that sit back moment of going, you know what, I made it. Like when you sit back and you talk about how you had like no money, you had to use your student funds, you had to do all these things, and then you look back in the situation you are now, the students you got, your mentorship, you got your dream car, you can travel the world, you can do all these things, like the little you probably never imagined would have been possible. Well, not at this age, maybe.
No, definitely not. Sometimes I don't even know how to put everything into words, because it's just like, it is there, but it's like, it kind of feels like how, sometimes it feels like, how did this all happen? So you think back at everything that happened, and you still like, wow, that's actually insane. Like, how did that happen? I don't know how, but thank you, obviously.
Yeah, and guys, I think the big thing is also, like when G told you his story in the beginning, it was never a quick thing. It was not a 1 week, it wasn't a 1 day, it wasn't a 1 month. He put in the time, the constant effort. He learnt about everything. He really put his mind to it. He almost in a way was obsessed with it, and got to where he is now.
Like, to be honest, I was obsessed with it, and there was a time where I did let my close or loved ones down, because all I was doing was, I was in the charts 6-7 o'clock till night, 10-11 o'clock, and I didn't spend any time with them at all. My mom, my sister, nothing. Didn't really chat to them, nothing. Friends, nothing. And later on, they saw that, I'm doing well now, finally, after multiple.
Yeah, I've said the same thing to people as well, where it's not that you in a way cut people off or you do it on purpose, but like I used to always call it, I went into like my dark mode, where I put my head down, I got to work, I was reading books, I was on the charts. Like, you got to obsess over it if you really want to take it to the next level. But I see we have another question here. Amash, how much is your mentorship?
Moment it's 2,000 rand, and then you have lifetime access to all the groups and BT's rooms and all that stuff.
Yeah, guys, we will drop Garen's social handles and all that in the link below, so you guys can go give him a follow, and obviously if you have any questions, stuff like that, you can follow up with him afterwards. But also, guys, again, thanks for all the viewers today and all that, but keep dropping some love, guys. I think let's have the Peach Nation stand up here, bring some volume into the markets, and just some love towards G for being here today. But the next,
for everybody joining in and all the questions and support and all that, means a lot. So I appreciate you. Thanks, Keegan, for that as well. So yeah, thanks, I appreciate it.
Nah, always good having you, my man. But next one, what is your favorite pair? What pair would you advise I focus on between 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. and 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.?
I'm more towards the London session, and that's GBP JPY. That's my favorite pair. I've traded GBP JPY literally since I started trading 4 years ago, so that pair has always stuck to me. I've had pairs come in, go out, don't like it, come in, go out, don't like it. GJ has always been there. So GJ, for a fact, the way it moves is just beautiful. I feel like, yes, there's obviously weeks and a few days where it's in a bad range where you don't want to trade it, but in the morning, GJ for sure, and then in the afternoon, me personally, gold. Just GJ and gold, those two. At the moment, those are the only two pairs I actually trade and focus on quite a lot.
Yeah.
I trade some other pairs like Euro, JPY as well, but it just, I can't explain it. Just the feeling that I have towards those two pairs. I can't go without those two, so
Yeah.
I just stick to those two and just backtest them, every single day, and they become quite clear actually if you want to put that.
Oh, 100%. So yeah, next one is, Shibi, would you consider giving a spot or two for free to the 500 challenge?
Maybe I can do something like that. I'll think about that. Actually, I might do something like that then. So I might have like a small competition or something then on the
Yeah, so
socials.
as mentioned, guys, definitely go follow him then in the socials, show him the love from our streams and from the opening bell, because then you might be getting those opening 2 free spots. Next question is, Garen, what is your goal in the next 3 years?
Yeah, my goal for the next 3 years is scaling quite a lot. So I feel like the past 2 years has been a settling time, settling into everything, settling with my psychology, my trading plan, my rules. I've learned a lot over the past 2 years. Now I feel like finally I'm at a point where I'm ready for the next step. You need to be ready for the next step in your mind first before you can actually achieve it. So I really want to, go into properties as well. I want to buy a property overseas, especially in Dubai, just because of tax reasons and all that stuff. Everybody would love to pay 0% tax, but yeah. But my goal is to literally have whatever I have now and just scale it, obviously. So if I can scale my group to 1,000 people, that'll be awesome. If I can scale my accounts just to having maybe another zero at the end, that'll be perfect. So it's just doing the same thing as what I'm doing now, and then just taking it like
if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. But next one, guys. So yeah, Kieran, Garen, when are you pulling up to the next meet?
That's a great question. I know I've been very rare, nowadays, and this is where I am in my flipping room and trading. Or me and my girlfriend Emily, we go, out somewhere and just explore, life in the world. But I will definitely make a plan to come through, So just send me a message and on the next one, and then for that.
Yeah, and the little GT3 RS coming soon.
So yeah, what to say? I might be going to SCS, Calvin Chatter's car collection, or supercar collection then on Paul this Saturday. So if you'd be keen on joining and going there, let me know, because I might ask some of my students again as well to come with, and me and Emily and then a few other mates like Kyle Swanepoel and them to pull through as well. So yeah, keen on doing that. If you want to join, let me know.
Yeah, guys, and again, I think that's also another thing. What a lot of these traders, if you guys haven't noticed, like we always want to say the genuine ones. Again, growing that community, it's not just about trading at the end of the day. It's about building that family, creating those hobbies and stuff. Like, we're all boys, we all love our toys. We had the question a while ago where we were talking about who was it? It was one of the other guests we had on, and we were saying we're all boys, we want our toys, and what's the first thing when we get that big win? It's what car are we buying? And doing the car runs with traders, like doing these events, which again give back to the community, actually enjoying these lifestyles we try so hard to achieve, because I think that's also the point. I think a lot of guys forget is we work so hard, we put the time in, we put all these things in, we drive ourselves crazy with these bloody markets and charts. There needs to be a point, I think you also need to sit back and relax it and kind of live in that moment.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's also another thing is, why do you trade? You want the trading lifestyle for the freedom of it. So you need to also do the freedom part of it, not just sit permanently in front of the charts.
100%. So see, what is the next car?
The next car is a F80 or a G80 M3 for sure.
Oh, that G80 looks good.
Yeah, it's grown on me. I love it actually.
Just making sure there's no other questions we missed over here. Yeah, guys, so that looks like it. Obviously we're still going to be here for a little bit. I think we will call it at past. So anyone that obviously still has your questions, you can definitely get them through. Just an update on the markets, I am not seeing anything, guys. I'm not going to force anything. EJ did have its slight breakaway, but on the higher time frames it hasn't really confirmed anything as of yet. Obviously my bias is bearish, so I'm not going to force anything. I want a more solid closure on the higher time frames before I will consider going long. Until then, I am bearish GJ, and that's one thing, guys. Obviously GJ did have CPI, but as we've shown before, EJ and GJ are kind of work hand in hand. So the fact the one is still bearish, I can definitely still see that EJ turnaround coming back, so don't turn that one off yet. GU, we are still holding the same place. We are still very much bearish. We could just have fractional structure turning a little bit around for that pullback, or once again, if we have that break of structure over here, we can turn bullish again. US30, again, we are broken Asia highs. We are staying above the Asia highs, so you guys can definitely see support being formed over there now. So next area we'll wait for literally our same zone for yesterday, guys. As mentioned, we can break above. We have turned bullish, so what I would love to see is that break above, find support probably around New York session, and we can swing this all the way back up to the weekly pivot. So that will be the game plan for there, but I don't see us taking anything now in London session. Question, SCS not owned by Salvin anymore, so it's just private storage for people. Went there 2 months ago, so still cool to go.
Yeah, I know, because I know the guys that work there. So he told me Salvin built the biggest garage in Valdevie. He has a 32 car garage that finished, so that's why his cars is not at the storage anymore. Sad times. But there's still some flipping awesome cars there. You know, the last time I was there, it was a SF90 Novitec edition. There was the what's it called? They had a Hurricane STO there. So you know, I think like 2 or 3 pistas as well. So there's still, you know, decent cars for sure. But
Yeah.
sad, I wanted to see Salvin Pagani, the Imola edition, and I missed it twice, just by just. So I'm still on the hunt for that, but I asked the guy to tell me when it's back in, then I will go and have a look, and then obviously I'll maybe drag some of my students with me, as always, to go look at that, because I feel like that's the best form of motivation, is actually seeing and being around those things.
100%.
Yeah, it's also just a fun outing, like Keegan said earlier. You know, I like going out with my students because I see them kind of as, you know, like friends as well. You know, build relationships and go do fun things together. So yeah, it's always a good outing. So
Yeah, I think adding to that, where you're talking about like surround yourself with those things, even the cars and that, I think that overflows with the people you surround yourself with. People always say this, but personally, like we say, you are someone that has made it at a young age, that is successful or very successful for your age. Would you say there's a correlation with, for example, the friends, that the close circle you have surrounded yourself with, even the partner that you choose? I'm lucky to say I have met Emily. She is an amazing woman, but yeah, the woman, your friends, those you hold close to you, do you say there's a correlation to the success in your life?
100%. And I almost lost a lot in life due to bad friend circles. That was 2021, I would say. 2020, yeah, 2021 was the year where quite a lot happened and not good things. So that's just because I was in the wrong like circle groups. I thought they were, you know, friends, and meanwhile they weren't, and they were, you know, going out of their way to kind of stab me in the back and all that. But that's how you obviously get to the point where I need to make a decision, and you make a decision, and the people are still, you know, if you know, leave them behind and they still, you know, make an effort to see how you're doing and all that, then sure thing, you know, I'll be, you know, nice back, because I'm always the nice guy. But you must be careful of always being the nice guy, because people will use you, especially if you have, you know, some things in life or a lot of things in life. People will want to be your friend because they can gain off of it. And then you get people that uses you. So you get people that will go out of their way to stab you in the back, and then you'll get people that will use you. So you need to be careful of that, and that's why keeping your circle super small and testing people first. It takes some time to gain some trust. Once they've proven themselves, they are valid. You need to also take the decision of, I'm giving this person a chance, because everybody deserves a chance, but I do not believe in second chances, unfortunately, anymore. But your circle is a representation of you. That's how it is. So if your circle is not doing the same things, and they don't need to make millions, they don't need to make a lot of money at all. They just need to have the same work ethic and mindset as you. That's basically what it is. Work ethic, mindset, and values. They have that. I will flipping go out of my way to help them, achieve what they want to achieve. That's how it is. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
they pick you up. They don't know you pick them up. It's just you helping each other.
But you add to those values there, and I think that is a key thing, guys, moving forward. For those of you that are maybe been in the game for a while now, or are relatively new and are still getting your feet in and stuff, a heads up, a lot of people are not going to understand this destination you're on this goal where you go in this journey, because it's just, a lot of people don't. I mean, I think that again goes back to where the community took things, where the whole thing of scammers and all this, it's not a real job. I think we've all heard that one before. It's not a real job, it's not sustainable. And I think that's the thing, a lot of people aren't going to understand it. And I think again that goes to show, when you also go into that dark mode, when you come out of it, the people that can see the work you are putting, can see the dedication you are putting into something to achieve the goals you want in life, they are still going to be there. The ones you don't want, they're going to have left already. They ain't going to have been hanging around.
Definitely. I've actually had so many older generation people that has told me, yeah, but are you gonna provide for your family one day? Are you gonna do this and do that? And, they obviously didn't grow up in the same generation as us, so it's not normal to them. Normal to them is going to study, getting a normal job, and working a 9 to 5, and earning normal salary and all that stuff. But I've always wanted more to life, because if you don't have money, you can't go see the world. You can't actually live. You're just slaving every single day. That's how I feel. Yes, you get 9 to 5 jobs that pays well, for sure. But I mean, look at the majority of it. You get paid like peanuts for so many hard working hours physically, every single day. And I mean, how are you enjoying your life? By going on a holiday maybe once a year. I wanted more. I put in the time and effort. I believed in myself from day one, that I feel like I was meant for good things and I can achieve it if I want to. So that's it. And then once I started getting all these things, the older people they looked at me and they're like, okay, what the hell is going on here? This is insane. And then the more I started chatting to them and showing them, they actually kind of realized okay, there's actually a lot to this industry. But it's not simple. It's not simple and easy, but I always say, I don't know where I've heard this, I can't remember, but I always say trading is the most difficult way to make easy money. I mean, it's so difficult to get to the point of becoming profitable and then having the right mindset. But when you have that and it's clicked, yes, you just spend money like it's nothing. It's just a light work. You sit there for 2 hours a day, you make 15-20k a day, and I'm like, how is this possible? I'm sitting at my own house while playing games on my phone, and you make figures like that, and it's like, how's this legal?
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, look at the percentage of people that can achieve it and did achieve it. And I can probably guarantee you, the people that is successful in trading is all because of their mindset. Because the nature of trading is everything goes against the natural, human reaction. And, personality. If you're not patient, you will get punished for that. If you don't have any discipline, you'll get punished for that. Once you get punished, what do you do to come back? Do you get frustrated and angry and try and revenge trade?
take another loss, everything you need to go against your natural human, like, how can I say, reaction to a certain scenario, like every single choice. So it's basically just controlling your emotions. If you can control your mind and your emotions, you will be a profitable trader. But like we talked about earlier, it doesn't happen just in one day or week or month. You know, it can take years, and everybody is different. Because remember, if you have a personality, you know, from birth that helps with trading, then yes, you have an upper hand maybe, but it's not impossible to learn it. Anybody can learn anything. It's just a choice, you know, a choice you make.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's basically it. Yes.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, no, G, I think we are gonna have it there, my man. We definitely appreciate you coming on, sharing your input, some motivation, inspiration. I'm sure, guys, if you can't go into the markets for the rest of the week believing you can do it, I don't know what is going to make you feel like you can. But no, again, massive shout out to G. We were a little silent assassin, the real OG from Cape Town, keeping it quiet and killing the markets. But again, guys, again, show that love. Again, we will put your socials in the description below, so you guys can go over and check that out. Show him some love from the Peach Nation. But again, massive shout out for joining us today, my man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Like I said, it means a lot. So yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunity, and it was fun being on here. So thanks a lot, and thanks for everybody that joined in. I do appreciate the support. It means a lot.
Yeah, guys, and keep in mind, again, we have said we will not have scammers on here. These are only the OGs. These are the real ones. So when I say he is doing it, he is doing it. This is like we say, we're not printing fake money here. Okay, awesome, my man. So yeah, then when you're ready, yeah, you can just leave the Zoom call there, my man. But again, thanks again for being here and joining us, and best of luck for the rest of the day, my man. If you do trade today, I hope it's a blue one for you.
Appreciate it, and enjoy the day, and good luck with everything else you do today. So, sure.
Awesome, buddy. Okay, cheers, my man. Awesome, guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. G in the house. So I know it was something different. It wasn't that much on strategy, and you know what, guys, I'm proud of you. I think that was one you guys already, I think in the link we can see you guys developing as traders. You guys weren't asking, I don't want to say stupid questions, there's no such thing as a stupid question, but it was a much more psychological side of things. And I hope that kind of showed as well. We want to give you guys that inspiration. We want to show you guys it is doable. This is a South African boy from small beginnings, changed his life around for himself, for his family, and made it happen. That just shows you that you guys can do it. I really want you guys to believe that it doesn't matter on age, it doesn't matter years, it doesn't matter experience. Put in the time and you guys can do it. Okay. So it definitely was something a little bit different, but I do think it's an important one moving forward. So we'll keep an eye out for who the next guest will be, guys. All right. But again, massive shout out to the Daily Scalp as well, the guys that joined in. We smashed our top current viewers, like smashed it out the park. So you guys were great. The Peach Nation is growing more and more by the day. So guys, keep obviously in mind with the Discord. We will keep things going there. As like I say, I don't see any trades happening. If anything, this probably was the most valid setup I probably would have had for the day for you guys. But like I mentioned on the we want a day 2, so we want a red setup day. So we want to be closing below the open here for you guys. Let me just bring my drawings back up for you. We want to close below that point. So if anything, we either want to retest Asia highs of this area, even maybe the pivot. You know what, if we want that, that is fine, as long as we don't turn around and take out the highs of yesterday. This will be valid, and then the big sell off coming tomorrow. If you guys go over there, where was it, the 4 hour, look at that, guys. All of this that needs to be retested. So that big sell off is definitely coming. So literally, like I say, same thing I said to you the other day, we are just reversing. So if you go back to this year, as I mentioned to you guys, we want to respect those lows. As you can see there, we literally want to do something very similar today almost. So as long as we can respect even maybe a little bit higher, that is fine, as long as we don't go anywhere close to retesting the highs. Yeah, so if it's a little maybe on the pivot, we will look to sell off. Okay, weekly support is very low down, so at this point in time we can literally look as a sell literally back to the pivot. If you guys are swing traders, this would be your bread and butter. Okay, combination is key when wanting to learn. Exactly, my man, it really is. Got to put the time in. That's the thing, as we had a few guys talk about, is that data collection. So yes, trading's all well and nice, you can do as many courses as you want, but for example, you can do a course and think that strategy doesn't work for you, but have you gone and back tested? Have you checked your sessions? What is your most successful session? Have you checked what is the best time of the day you trade? Have you checked what is your most successful pair? What is your worst pair? And then check your strategy on different pairs. I had this conversation, I think, with Edgar on Friday, where I said, guys, it's the little things sometimes. It's not your strategy that is wrong. You simply can be trading the wrong pair. Your strategy will always work a bit different. When it came to me, guys know my journey when I was kind of starting off. We'll get into it one day where I'll share all that in detail with you guys. But I literally started off, like I said, in these, I had about 8-9 pairs, and slowly but surely I zoned into gold. Gold was just my most successful pair, followed by GJ was my baby. This was my pride and joy. If we have to go back literally over here, where is it? Yeah, this was kind of my time, guys. I was killing GJ all of this year. Since we started having this bit of a breakaway, I stopped because we are kind of going to a bit of unknown territory. So I do back off a bit, but as it will start to form a bit of data for me to work off, we can start trading it again already. Yeah, you can start seeing that nasty support. So even now, guys, big push could be coming in the next few days where we can retest the weekly support. You could potentially look to go long or come back down. Might even look for an area of this zone, something over there. But again, that is just quick long term, a bit of a rundown. That, as I was mentioning, you can have trades. It's not that your strategy doesn't work, it's not that a different one, that's not the strategy for you. It's simply you can be on the wrong pair. A strategy will be more successful on a different pair that respects the structure of that strategy more, if that makes sense to you guys. So it's not even the fact you have to increase lots, you don't have to do anything. The moves and structure will just be better on a different pair. Okay, so yeah, guys, let me know if there's anything else you guys want to check or run through. Before then, I'm quickly gonna run to the bathroom and then I will be back before we call it. Alright, guys. guys, I'm back. Okay, let's get into it. Bron, key question for you: how long have you been in the industry? Extremely knowledgeable on gold. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it, my man. It's definitely something I've put my time and work into. So I've actually been in the industry for 4 years. I think end of this year would be 5 years. So basically, when was it? I think COVID. I got into trading. For those of you guys don't know, Jay that we had in office, what was it, last week? Me and him were in school together, good friends. So when he kind of started this whole trading journey, he got me onto it, and we kind of started at the same time. And difference is, so what happened is I took $100 and basically I grew it to like $1,000, but it was a typical thing of beginners. Like, I mean, I was trading very, very simple, and after that, before you knew it, I blew the $1,000 in like a day, 2 days, and I was like, nope, this is a scam. This isn't real. They just stole my money, and I just left it. Then later on, at that point, Jay obviously kept on going, and eventually I started meeting more and more people that like were full-time traders, and I was like, okay, like, all right, maybe this is like a real thing. And at that point, the one guy I'll never forget said to me was, end of the day, if you want a successful industry, and it's the same thing, the markets, it's not for everyone. It's a mental, psychological, it is a skill. You are not going to go to a doctor that watched some YouTube videos and is making millions. Like, you're not going to do that. You go to a doctor who's studied years and years, experience, practicals. That's what you go to. And he said to me, this is no different. He said, if you want to do this, treat it like a job, treat it like an industry. So go do a mentorship, go do a course, and all these things. I was like, okay, like, makes sense. So I started doing my research. I did a course, and since then, like, it just changed. I was doing courses. And that's why I said I got obsessed with the markets. I went to a dark zone. It was reading books, it was trading, it was doing different courses, different mentorships. I was always up on a Zoom course with different people. All I wanted to do was learn about the markets. I'm someone, I want to know, like, if something did this, why did it do this? If it did that, why did it do that? If it didn't do what I thought it would do, why didn't it do what I thought it would do? I'm a persistent but also perfectionist in that way, if you want to say it. So yeah, after that I just started pursuing it, and I'd probably say about 2 years when I really got back into it, I started becoming profitable, and I think that's just where it changed. Obviously, again, you have your experience and motivation, and I think over time, the experience, I just learned like gold is my point, and that's just where I went to it. So gold I loved, and I think originally that started from when I do personal funds. I trade US30, and I think I just love the volume gold allowed me. So just kind of focused on gold and started developing my strategy, and I knew that was a pair I wanted to trade. So again, when I started doing my knowledge, I started doing my knowledge specifically on gold. I started learning strategies specifically for gold. I started learning things like that just for gold. What time volume, what time moves, what time formations, what are the most if you want to say probability actions on gold. And you start looking at that, you start back testing, and that's basically what I started doing. Originally, something as small as this, like you literally can see this here. So I would start doing this, like you'd have a hard push. Before I even knew about lows, Asia lows, like before this was a thing, I would have gone, we have a hard push from the top, there's my bottom, it's kind of equal lows, we rejected, we held. This candle right here, all I traded was 15 minutes. This is all I traded. This candle is called an inverted hammer candle. Shows that power, it's gone that way. It has now changed bullish, so it's gone the other way. And I literally on that open, yeah, so the close, that there, I would have bought, and look what it's doing. Like simple as that. Like that is what I started. Yes, there's a bit of luck to that, but that is what I used to do. And I would probably then now aim TP, so I would have, like I said, bought on that close. All I would have done is pulled my wick up to there, and I would have just aimed for the highs, and that would have been my trade. That literally would have been my game plan. That's what still today, a lot of people ask me about the whole silver bullet, ICT, SMC concepts, all these things, bro. Like, I might be trading something similar to that, but it's something I came across by myself, or strategies I've learned and made my own thing. It wasn't ever something I learned till today. I don't know ICT, I don't know SMC, like the exact definition behind it. I just found what works for me, how my mind works, how I look at the markets. I love that route of doing things, and I worked with it. That was it. So yeah, it's been a journey, but you can't give up. I always said people, to be a trader, you have to be a little bit crazy, because you're going to go through a lot of down. I mean, people would say you try something once, twice, 3 times, after that you call it. Trading, you're probably going to bump your head, you're going to blow accounts 50 times, and you're going to carry on. So there's a little bit of craziness to being a trader. But Jason, Key seriously broke Asia highs. Where would you have taken an entry? So what I would have done, Jason, if I was going to buy off the Asia highs, again, funny enough, so yeah, I would have bought. So what I would have done, this is literally my confirmation on candle confirmation. If this broke away, we had the strong bullish push which closed above, I'd want to retrace to the zone of Asia highs. So retrace. Now what I'm going to do, I want a bullish candle again. That would be my bullish. I would have waited for a retest on that zone, which I would have got there. So again, I always say stop loss in the point where my trade is invalid. So that was my bullish candle, so it shouldn't go lower than that. That was our last previous bearish candle, so something like that. And that would have been my entry model on US30 if I bought on Asia highs. And like I said, that's our key area, so I will aim for that key area. But again, I don't like trading this morning, so that's kind of why I didn't take the trade. I did actually notice the setup, funny enough, but I didn't take it purely because I don't trade US30 in London session. Again, that's my back testing. I've just learned that I prefer New York. So unless you're breaking a key area, we'll do that. But again, guys, that's what I always talk about candle confirmations. Find a confirmation pattern that works for you. I literally have a book. I drew my pictures out. I don't even print it. I drew my candles out, and I have it in my book. I call it the playbook. I will actually share that stuff to you, that you can see this is literally my entry model. Very, very similar to Chris's actually, but that is what I look for. If it was a bearish, same thing. I would have wanted a bearish engulfing, coming back. And again, guys, again, like I say, engulfing, that candle alone is bigger than the previous 2 candles. You see that? So it completely engulfed, had the drawback on my zone, and there we go. So I will share that on the Discord for you guys in the educational things on how I entry and what my entry model is. Could you recommend some courses for US30 and gold? So US30 and gold, I must say, that's also the thing. They actually, funny enough, work very hand in hand. I did do some of Mad Chart stuff, and the what's it, Wall Street Academy, it's Q Banks US30. So I did focus on those as well. And like I said, I did a few other courses of some other good South African traders, and that's why I say I kind of found the healthy ground. So I found things I liked of all the different courses and mixed together to get mine. But if you're just doing a normal course off the bat, 100% US30 Q Banks, I do recommend. It is very expensive though, guys, but again, it is, if this is something you really want to do, it's your education. Put the time in. It's end of the day, like I say, this is a skill. There's no limit. You put the time in, there is no limit to what you can make. There is no, if I get a doctorate, this is like the max salary I'll make. There's nothing. Like, just a story. I don't like talking numbers, but when I went full time, after doing everything I did, I made my salary, well, a 2-year salary in 2 weeks. And that was the moment I went full time after that, and never looked back after that. I have the hard days like I did yesterday. We all do it. We all bump our heads. We are human, but you shake it off, relax, have a cup of coffee or hot chocolate, watch a movie, play some games, go for a drive, do whatever you need to do, reset, and you come back better the next day. Good stuff, man. Could you send those courses in the Discord? I will send you the courses, the links for the courses, that you can go look at them if you want, but my basic entry models I will send to you guys. Over the time, guys, we will do more of these things and educational things where we really will get into how we trade. That's kind of why the purpose is, like I said to Chris a few times, I don't want to do a mentorship. I want to build an approach, a personality, if you want to say that, a trader's identity. And that is why I'm getting to the point, day by day, I am getting more comfortable in front of the camera and doing these things. Like last week Friday was the first time I ever did anything like this for people, and you know what, genuinely I really enjoyed it. So we are really going to be starting the the New York sessions very, very soon, where we will sit like this, chat, if it's 4 of us, 5 of us, and literally you guys can just trade with me. You will see me take a trade, you will see me do everything. It will be fully transparent. You guys will have my entry models, you guys will know how I take courses, you guys will know when I start trying different things, and we'll move forward as a group. But definitely start growing kind of my own identity and stuff like that moving forward. I will always be on the opening bell, but as for example we have the market bull, we will have whatever I eventually go by. But yeah, it will come forward, but there's lots of exciting things to look forward to guys, so don't worry. But again, I will share some of that stuff with you where you can go check it out. Could you possibly say how you guys find your daily pivot? Okay, so if you go over, it's a indicator. It's called Pivots Traditional. I think if you search it, it is just pivots. Let's just see it quickly. Pivots. I'm gonna see what the actual name is for you guys, just so I can actually get that for you. I think it is just called pivots, like honestly, but I will double check if it isn't later. I will send it in the Discord again for you guys. But yeah, it's basically pivots. All I do is I take off the other one, so it's only set for 1 day. So then the pivots are laid out like they are there. So your 5 minute and 15 minute and I think the 30 minute are the same. So your pivot and then support and resistance, and then your hour, 4 hour are the same, and daily and weekly are the same, but we use our 4 hour to mark out weekly. So you'll see that was S1, P1, R1, and then we mark it out as ourselves, like you can see there, as the weekly pivot. And I just color it so it's just easy to see, obviously, for myself. But that is how we mark that out. So yeah, guys, I hope that helps. Yeah, Jason, I actually think I was hesitating, so I didn't take it. Okay, I was about to ask you, I hope you took this, because yeah, it's actually a very, very nice trade. I mean, at the moment it is a 6%, but yeah, you already would have bagged out 4%, which is a massive trade. But you know what, guys, I think that's what Garen and I were talking about, is the whole no emotions. If you have a trading plan, you got to take it. Again, the good win, a bad lose, a good lose, a bad lose. You have a plan, you got to stick to it. If let's say you got 5 rules to take a trade, you got to, if those 5 rules happen, you can't be sitting there going, oh, I don't want to take the trade. What if I lose? What if this happens? What if you make the biggest trade you ever made in your life? What if that passes your funded account? What if? Like, you can't sit there with what if. For those that don't know, I actually have a tattoo that says why not, and that was before I started trading. That was everything, but that was a aspect I had. It's when I played rugby, it's when I did athletics, it's when I did everything I did in my life, was why not? Why can't it be me? Why can't I be successful? Why can't it go in my favor? We always think life is against us, the markets are against us, but why not? Why can't it be like us? Why can't I be like a Q Banks, a Lambo, or the FX Alex G? Why not? And that's what we want to show to you guys. That is the whole point. I will bump my head like I did yesterday, and I'll get up on my horse again, and I'll carry on trading, because I want to show you guys that without being aggressive, how I prefer to trade sometimes, being conservative, taking your time, doing things the right way, you can build that capital, you can flip those accounts, you can make the massive profits that become life-changing. So again, guys, back yourself, make those rules, have them set out for you, and back yourself. I promise you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Yeah, you know what, I'm not saying it's easy. There's times we have regretted. We've had some guys that have messaged us already, and again, I think we were talking about that earlier. Like, that's, I think, another point why we do what we do is there's times, for example, I'll say gold was like, I would have bought you, or like this, I call it out, and before I'm in the trade, like maybe I would have waited for that second retest. Sorry man, this thing keeps getting in the way. Maybe I would have waited for the second retest, the one over there. But when the first retest hit, other guys bought it already, purely because they go, you said so, I'm doing it. And that kind of that faith you have in other people, you need to have that same faith in yourself. When you taking it, you got to believe in yourself and got to believe in these trades. So again, guys, I know today maybe has been a bit of a psychological, mental, emotional one, if you want to say that. But I think we made the most out of what it can, especially that being a massive part of trading, especially since the markets haven't really given us anything. And again, guys, just actually looking at gold, key thing to note here, you see how we tested, we came down. If this closes back at Asia lows, key thing is we failed. We couldn't even get back up there now. So unless you start hovering around like this again and it breaks away, then you can wait for that retest up here again. So just let me show you. So unless we do this and we start hovering at the lows, if it breaks away and does this, if you are in a trade, get out, because it's going to go all the way back up to retest, and I'd rather wait here to sell off again. But at the same time of breaking away, the fact, because we failed to retest the highs, we failed over here at the breakaway point. If you can see that, look there, you can see that, guys. It's very, very simple. There's always these lines, look there, candle closures line up with each other, same, look there. Oh wait, I'm pointing at the camera, you guys can't see that. You can see that same line is where the turnaround happened there. You can see this break of structure. So the fact we broke structure underneath that line, we broke it, retested, made the high, we broke back below, now it is going to hold as resistance, now come back. So that again is why I'm saying, because of this, if we do this, I'm more likely to see this happen than this happen. Does that make sense? So that is also something you guys then can look at for today, for that sell. We called it on Monday for you guys. I'm going to tell you it's coming today, and the big one will come tomorrow again, guys. So please just be patient, wait for those candle confirmations. If I am going to take the trade, I will let you know. Otherwise, I will just have the setup in the Discord for you guys, okay? But alright, guys, I think we are going to call it there. There is nothing otherwise available for me. We are still waiting on everything else. See what I mean though? As much as I still am going short, EJ and GJ. So remember, EJ broke away first, and GJ was a little bearish. Check how GJ has turned around and is catching up now. Okay, so those two again, always kind of hand in hand. GBP USD making its comeback, finds support at S2. You can see that beautiful rejection there. So perfect. I always talk about, guys, candle closure, and that's not about the wicks, where the body's closed. Body closed above support straight away with a big bearish push. I would have waited on the key area, candle close above. Minute that closes, either you could have waited for the retest, which you might not have got. Yeah, you wouldn't have got that there. Otherwise, first thing is buy there, stop loss below the wick, and would have been another one. So just to show you guys, you buy on the close, stop loss below the wick, and there you guys go, ready to our trade. So just simple, guys. It's like simple things. You go back, complete, just retest the strategy. All right, and you guys will find your feet eventually. We are going to keep doing this every day, guys, back and forth, but nothing is going to stop us. If anyone did take that trade, well done. But again, that's what we're looking for, guys. You can take a little screenshot there if you want to. That is my simple analysis for US30, what I'm gonna look for today. If we do break above, it will basically be targeting that key area over there. Okay, otherwise that will be it for the day. But again, I will keep you guys updated from my side. It will be a bit of change of scenery. I am traveling to Pretoria tomorrow, so tomorrow, Friday, I will not be in office. I will try and join the chat for a few minutes on the days if I can, but I won't be in office. So I will join you guys back again on Monday. But like I say, we'll keep you guys updated from my side on the Discord, so just keep that out there. But otherwise, guys, I hope you all have a blessed rest of the week. Keep killing it. Please be careful of FOMC. And yeah, guys, other than that, hope you all have a blue day today. Hope you guys have a great one. I will see you next week. And again, guys, peace and love. Peach Nation, stand up. All right, cheers, guys.